Carsillo for 1050 ESPN, 1050ESPN.com, and ESPNVideogames.com. And I have the pleasure of talking with the Global Product Manager for Xbox,
Yes.
Amritz Lay, and he's going to talk to us today about Forza Motorsport 3.
That's right.
First off, thanks for sitting down with me today for a few minutes.
Of course.
Forza Motorsport 3, Forza Motorsport in general has built up this amazing following, and so the fact that they're coming out with a third game, what improvements can you make from Forza 2 to Forza 3?
Right. So as you mentioned, Forza has an incredible pedigree. Forza 1 and Forza 2 won numerous Racing Game of the Year awards, as well Forza 3 has already garnered some E3 Best of Racing awards. Now, we've done that because we've built upon the great game of 2. So not only is it a great simulation game, but they've upped the graphics, so it's a beautiful look and feel, epic amount of content, 400 cars from over 50 manufacturers, and played over 100 tracks. It's easy to get into. There's a bunch of new gameplay assists that we've added in, such as one-trigger driving and gameplay rewind. And lastly, we have a huge, vibrant online community that we're bringing over from Forza 2, and it's just going to blow tenfold exponentially to Forza 3.
Now you mentioned the game rewind, and when we got a chance to go on hands-on with this, and to say it completely could revolutionize and set a new benchmark for the racing genre is an understatement. That's a pretty big statement. All right, so explain to everybody exactly what game rewind is.
Sure. So the way gameplay rewind works is at any time in a single-player game, say you do a spectacular crash and you have damage with rollover and it looks great. However, in a typical racing game, that would be the end of that level and you'd have to restart and you'd probably leave with some frustrations. But instead, now you can push the back button at any time. It'll skip back in small increments, kind of like a DVR. And that allows you to restart from that point. And so you can either, now you have the opportunity now to either make that crash even more spectacular, or you could be a little more refined and circumvent it or not cause it, and continue on with the race. So it's a real empowering tool to make sure that people are just walking away having a fun, great experience that's not frustrating at all.
Something that's very interesting about the game Rewind also is that while playing, we actually did it when another car, computer-controlled car,
right,
crashed and burned, and rewound it back far enough to see, and the AI actually redid its driving motion as well. Which, so speak about how impressive and how above and beyond the AI is now at this point.
The AI it's just fantastic. So with Forza 2, they have the Drivatar, where it was kind of learning as it's learning based on how you drive against it. Now we've added a pressure AI system. So now if you drive aggressively and start tapping on cars, they're going to behave differently. They may end up being a little more reactive, a little more skittish. And so the AI really does behave almost like human drivers. Yeah.
I prefer to just take out the whole rear bumper. I'm very, very aggressive.
You did notice you do that a few times.
Yeah, 4, 5, 17.
You did it with style.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Now, another amazing thing, you mentioned the graphics, but also like as somebody like myself who crashes a lot, the real-time damage feature. Speak to that a little bit about how accurate and how detailed it actually gets, because that was something that I noticed immediately.
It's reflective of everything you might see or feel on a real racetrack. So if you skid up against a wall, the damage will show just that. Or if you smash into the rear of a car, you see bumpers flying, glass exploding, things like that nature. So everything happens in real time. Again, the physics is ran in 360 frames per second. That's by far setting the benchmark for every racing game out there. And it's just, it comes out in a really realistic manner.
Now you mentioned 400 cars from 50 manufacturers. Are you going to have all modern cars, or how many classic cars are we going to see too?
That's something you're going to have to find out at the end. But what I can tell you is, 400 cars from 50 manufacturers. There's a whole range spectrum. There's from European, Japanese, American, even some smaller car shops, and everything from classic cars. We've got old school Shelby Mustangs. We have my old Honda Civic hatchback, all the way to the brand new exotics like the Audi R8, things like that.
Now, how many tracks are you going to get to actually possibly race in this game, and where do they all come from? They all realistic from in actual world tracks, I'm guessing?
So the game will be available with over 100 tracks. Most of them are real world race tracks, as well as we have some that are based off of real world locations, like the one that you drove earlier today. That's based off of an area in Montserrat, Spain.
I really appreciate you taking a few minutes. I think this game is going to set, like I said, a whole new benchmark in racing. I mean, I'm still so hyped about the gameplay rewind feature that, I mean, it just sets a whole new benchmark for racing games, and I think it's going to set a standard that hopefully in a few years down the line, you're going to see a lot of other people probably, well, you probably don't want to see it, but other people are going to probably start emulating because it's going to set that kind of a benchmark, and I really appreciate you taking 5-10 minutes sitting down with me today and showing me the game.
Absolutely. We're excited. We're excited when it's going to launch on October 27th. We hope the whole world believes it is. Thinks so as well.
There you go. You heard it from the source. October 27th. Everybody go get it. Forza Motorsport 3 for Xbox 360.